Tonight we are dining at Narcoossee's. This is Disney's Grand Floridian Resort and Spa newest reopened restaurant.
It reopened today, April 1st, 2023. So we're gonna take you along for a full review.
We're gonna try out the new menu and show you all the yummy things. So let's head on inside. Welcome to Narcoossee's. We are dining here at Disney's Grand Floridian Resort tonight at the restaurant that has just reopened as of today, April 1st. Narcoossee's is a land and sea inspired restaurant. They just went through a huge remodel. They have tons of new things on the menu, including drinks, appetizers, entrees, all of the fun things. This is actually a new restaurant to us, so all of the things are gonna be new. So let's dig into the food. Starting off with some cocktails, of course. This is the Smoked Dark and Stormy, which is actually created by the manager. Both he and our server both came over and were very excited about this drink. It is Gosling's Black Seal Rum, charred pineapple syrup, Carpano Antica Formula Sweet Vermouth, Smoked Chili Bitters, and Fever Tree Ginger Beer. He was also really excited. I don't know how well you can see it here. I tried to get a video shot of it. It's the first restaurant at Disney that features like one singular ice cube. Like basically it's this one really tall ice cube that takes up the whole cup. But this is a dehydrated pineapple on top. I'm really excited to give it a try. I need this to move though, so I can get a little sip in there. There we go. Oh wow, that is fantastic. The ginger beer gives it a very like light taste. It's sweet, it's not overly sweet, but it's not a like overly like hit you in the face strong drink either. It's a really great light and refreshing cocktail, but there's some really good sweet rich flavors in there at the same time. I really like this a lot.
I am starting off with the Old Fashioned, which is Old Forester Bourbon, Courvoisier versus Cognac. I'm probably butchering that. Rosemary and aromatic bitters. I just wanted a classic drink. Wow, that's very smooth. The rosemary kind of gives it a nice like savory flavor, and it's not a sweet old fashioned, which is really honestly what I was wanting. It's so smooth. It's so incredibly smooth. This is up there with one of my favorite old fashions on property. Probably right behind the one at California Grill. That's probably my favorite old fashioned. Just a great classic drink. Can't go wrong. For starters, you do get a bread and butter service, which we haven't dug into yet because we are starting with the brisket and ricotta tortelloni. It's parsnip, brown butter, and sultana raisins, and it looks amazing. Oh my goodness. That is so good. It's nice and light for a starter. It's not super heavy. There's I think a spinach kind of side. The parsnip kind of gives it some nice sweetness, as well as the raisins. I like that it's not super heavy, it's not a super rich flavor, but still very good starter.
So for the bread service, you get this beautiful loaf of sourdough. It's very warm and very soft with a really beautifully crunchy. I don't know if you can hear that, but so good. And then it comes with an unsalted whipped butter with a Hawaiian salt on top. Looks delish. Butter is a little cold, so not like super spreadable. Perfectly cooked, perfect texture. It is warm. The butter has a really good like the salt really brings out that butter flavor. That's an excellent bread service. I wish the butter was a little softer, just a little bit, but the flavors are all fantastic.
For my entree, I ended up getting the dry-aged pork ribeye chop with goat cheese, potato pave, turnips, fig jus, and onion jam. It all sounds really good. And I believe this is the onion jam that's kind of on top of the pork chop. And she said, our server said you really have to spread it all over. Usually pork chops, I don't usually like because they're usually really overcooked. This is cooked beautifully. This is also the biggest pork chop I've ever seen. It's huge. This is also one of the cheapest items on the menu, which that's not why I got it, but it just sounded really good. It's really tender. It's moist, not dry at all. And that the onion jam on top adds a nice like sweetness to it. Wow, this reminds me a lot of the pork shank that you can find over at Storybook Dining at Artist Point. It's phenomenal. And then this is the potato pave, and it's got this like kind of pastry, almost like a croissant pastry on the outside of it, kind of encasing it. It's like if you took butter and potatoes and heaven on earth and put it in goat cheese and put it into a dish.
For my entree, I got the 12-ounce prime New York strip steak with potato mash, roasted rainbow veggies, and a red wine demi-glace. Oh my goodness, it looks so good. It really looks cooked perfectly for me. I really like my steak pretty red. And this is, I think, just the perfect amount of red without being like too like gushing blood. I'm not usually one that likes fat on like meat, steaks and stuff. But the fat on this has such a excellent flavor. And it melts in your mouth. It has such a great char on it. Normally I'm a filet girl, but I really like this, I don't want to say crispy, but like the char on the outside of this is fantastic. This is such a good steak. And it's ginormous. It's 12 ounce, so it's a very hefty portion. You do also have the option to get a side or enhancement. Two different things. So the enhancements are going to be like adding shrimp or lobster or something like that. Besides, we got the mashed potatoes with brisket, and holy cow, it looks so good. Everything looks just incredible. This is like, I need you to look at this cheese pull right now. Yes, yes, yes. Okay, let's try this. I can already say the brisket is incredibly tender.
It's pork belly.
Pork belly. No.
Yeah.
So tender. Really sweet and flavorful. Think like Asian flair sweet. The glaze on there is delicious, and it has just a little bit of crispiness on the outside. Mashed potatoes are super creamy, cheesy. Yeah, everything is really stellar. I'm very impressed. I love it all.
For second round of drinks, I ended up getting the Paper Plane, which is Widow Jane 10-year straight bourbon whiskey, Amaro Nonino, might be saying that wrong, Aperol, and fresh lemon juice. And it's got a little curly lemon. That's really good. Obviously, definitely sweeter than the old fashioned, but I think it will go really well with our dessert, which we'll show you once it arrives. I liked my old fashioned a little bit better, but I don't like super sweet drinks. You definitely get a lot of that lemon juice. It reminds me almost a little bit of like a lemonade old fashioned, kind of is what it tastes like.
I'm gonna try Mark Allen's drink because I like cocktails that are a little bit sweeter. I get like a weird taste of like peanut butter and citrus. Like the very first initial hit, it kind of reminds me of like peanut butter, like Screwball whiskey. Like they're just like, there's a little bit of that flavor. And then you get like all the citrusy flavors. That's interesting. I don't know that that's a drink that I would order. It's very like limey, citrusy. I don't know. Let me try mine. So I got the key lime pie martini, which is Tito's handmade vodka, Midori melon liqueur, vanilla cream, and cold pressed lime juice with toasted meringue. Mark Allen can eat my meringue because I don't like that, but this sounded really good, and I think it'll also go really well with our dessert. That is so good. It literally tastes like a key lime pie, but a drink. 100, like that is the only way I can describe this. It tastes exactly like key lime pie, but it's a drink. That's fantastic. You need to try this.
I'm gonna give this key lime pie martini a try.
Right?
I got the wrong drink. I regret my decisions. Yeah, it tastes literally just like a key lime pie. These are dangerous. This one especially, like you can't taste that alcohol at all. Yeah, I definitely would not start with that drink because it's very sweet, but for dessert, it's really good.
It is dessert time. So we got the pineapple bavaroise, I think is how you say it. It has shortbread on the bottom and then some like layered mousses, as well as I think she said some like dried crushed pineapple stuff in there. It also comes with a blackberry buttermilk ice cream, and this just like it's beautiful. It's so beautiful. But the citrus flavors I thought would pair well with my martini, so I don't know how to eat this. I'm going to take the chocolate thing off. So here we can see that is what our center cut looks like. That is way too big of a bite. The flavor is really good. It's a very sweet, creamy, pineapple-y taste. The texture is just slightly off. I wish like it's just got a teensy bit too much of a gelatinous texture, but it's not bad. I think that's more of just like a preference thing. But I do like this is very, very, very good. Don't get me wrong. Like texture is just slightly off, but I think that's just a personal thing. Flavors, so good. I'm gonna try it with some of this ice cream. The ice cream gives it a really great tart flavor. Yeah, this is great. It's a very well-balanced dessert.
I would agree. Everything Kayla just said, yeah. The texture is just ever so slightly off. But that ice cream gives it a nice tartness. And then the shortbread underneath, you kind of get that like just a teensy bit of salt. The flavor is really good. And this little flower, believe it or not, it's not a flower. It's a dehydrated pineapple.
Which is also what was in my drink, in my first drink. That was what was on top of it.
This is really good. It's like
pineapple candy.
Yeah. Oh gosh. Can I eat this little gummy thing?
Yeah. She said that's tangerine.
It's okay.
You just ate a big old bite of that.
It's really good. I love pineapple.
That's why I thought you'd like this dessert.
It's really good.
Delicious. What do you think?
It was good. I don't think it was definitely my top favorite meals that we've had at Disney, but
I would agree.
Overall, it was really good.
I would compare this very much to Citrico's, which is another one of the signature dining restaurants here at the Grand Floridian. I would say the biggest difference is I think seafood is probably going to be more of the star of the show here, whereas Citrico's is definitely going to be more on those land type flavors, but both are excellent. I really did enjoy my food. It was a very good meal. There wasn't anything that I would complain about, but I would agree with Mark Allen. I think Citrico's would still take the top for me just a little bit. So if you want to check out that dining review, we'll have that linked in the description box below.
Yeah, overall, I think as far as returnability, if I were to pick and choose where I would want to go back to, I would 100% go back to a restaurant like Citrico's, California Grill, Gico, all of those places we've dined at. So we'll also link those videos down below in case you haven't seen those. But overall, everything was really, really good. I just think as far as like a flavor wise, I much prefer something like Citrico's.
Yes, if you're a big seafood fan, I think that this is definitely, I know we didn't really try any of the seafood dishes, but we kept seeing them go by. And normally I really do like seafood, but I knew I was gonna want Mark Allen to share some things with me, so we didn't end up getting any seafood. So we may have to come back and try some seafood.
A cool thing to note about Narcoossee's is that you have the perfect view for fireworks. We're actually not going to stay for fireworks, but they do pipe in the music, so be sure you come out on this little balcony patio area, and if you are dining during fireworks, be sure to step outside and get that perfect view of fireworks. And like I said, they pipe it in, so
yeah, there's a speaker literally right there behind Mark Allen.
Yeah, there's a speaker right there, so you're going to be able to hear it and really get a completely unobstructed view of the fireworks. And if you're someone like us, so our reservation was about 5 o'clock. So fireworks are not for another nearly 2 hours. So with that being said, feel free to come back. You can go maybe check out the lobby at the Grand, hang out a little bit, listen to some music, whatnot, and then come back for fireworks. We did ask our server, all you really have to do is just show your receipt and you're good.
The theming of Narcoossee's is stunningly beautiful. It has a very beachy upscale vibe. The whole theme of the restaurant is land and sea. So you're gonna see a lot of those elements throughout the restaurant. The bar especially is really beautiful. The countertop is inlaid with oyster shells, which is reminiscent to what the original purpose of this restaurant was supposed to be. It was actually supposed to be an oyster bar, but then they decided because of the views, they were so beautiful. They're like, well, I think this needs to be a restaurant, something a little bit more exciting than an oyster bar. So I do love that they still have some of those elements kind of hidden throughout the restaurant. I also really noticed a lot of the blues, which makes sense for the restaurant, but if you've seen any of the new refurbishments at the Grand Floridian, whether it be in the lounge or the other restaurants, the rooms, all of those things have this beautiful blue color that you kind of see repeatedly, and I was excited to see that they did continue that on in this restaurant. So along with that land and sea theme, you are also going to see the land elements. I know it's really weird to say, but the bathrooms are really gorgeous. You're gonna see all these gorgeous green colors and really earthy textures. And it kind of, as you come out of the bathroom and you start to walk into the restaurant, you see this beautiful mural with some like grassy paintings, and then it kind of forms into the sea. So it's really cool how they kind of transform the restaurant from one end to the other to really kind of bring out that theming. Speaking of expanding it throughout the restaurant, you are also going to see land and sea in the menu. So like we have mentioned already, you're going to see lots of dishes featuring the land, which is mostly what we had tonight, but also the sea, including a lot of seafood. So whether or not you are a seafood person, it's okay. You have both options, which I found plenty of options that I think even picky eaters would enjoy. We hope you guys enjoyed following along with us this evening during our dining experience. Let us know in the comments, have you eaten at Narcoossee's before the refurb and after the refurb? Let us know what you think. And like Mark Allen mentioned earlier, make sure you check out our other dining reviews linked in the description box below. But that's all we have for you guys today. Now go create your ever after. Welcome to Narcoossee. Narcoossee's. Let's see if I can talk. Okay, let's try that again. Some cocktails, of course.
Actually.
Oh, you said I was ready. The bathrooms, I know that's really weird to say, but the bathrooms are really beautiful. It's a really loud horn. Tonight we are dining at Narcoossee. Oh my God, I can't say the name of this restaurant.
Stick along, and we're gonna do a full review.
Stick along.
I don't know what I'm trying to say.